Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Swahili Sunday. And I'm hoping you're having a great day. If it's morning today, good morning or good evening, wherever you're listening, or if you're listening after the fact, uh, that I would hope that you are having a good day. Oh, it looks like we're having a problem with one of my things. Okay. There we go. One of my I guess channels wasn't live, so I had to fix that. So anyway, welcome. Thank you for listening. I have probably, what are we at? Probably 10, 11 days until I leave for Kenya. And I'm really excited. And I'm hoping that if you have not donated yet, that you would consider giving a donation. We've had to make some changes. And if I don't raise enough funds, I'm going to have to back some of the things out that I was planning on doing, but hoping and praying that in this last 10 days that the funds I need come through. What I wanted to about today was World Fair Trade Day, but which was yesterday, and also the 3-year anniversary of Fair Trade Long Beach was our grand opening. And I remember getting involved in Fair Trade Long Beach. I had it's so interesting how you connect the dots with everything. But let me talk about fair trade first. I talk about that often, and what is fair trade and what it is not, basically. So fair trade is basically ethical business practices. It's a And even within fair trade, there are unethical people, unfortunately. Watch the movie Poverty Inc. and that will enlighten you to some things that uh, might you might find interesting. But it's about ethical business practices, good and safe working conditions, having fair wages, no child or slave labor. You can really track the supply chain. You can track it back to it's all the way through the supply chain to where the artisans or producers are. So for products, it's not something that's fair trade certified, it's fair trade verified. So I'm a verified member of the Fair Trade Federation, or Baskets and Beads Kenya is a verified member of the Fair Trade Federation. And I often get asked, well, let me tell you something that fair trade is not. Obviously, using child labor is a biggie. And if you have not done any research, and we think about fair trade, we always hear about coffee, chocolate, things like that. There are many more aspects to fair trade, but I like to bring up the chocolate industry because the big chocolate manufacturers are the biggest uh, offenders in using slave labor to pick the cocoa. So you could, if you type in, I actually have a link to it on one of my articles, but if you type in chocolate slave labor, you'll find out that all the big Hershey's, Nestle's, Mars, they all use slave labor, and they've all promised for years not to use it. And that's a problem. That's a problem in other countries, and it's a problem here as well. You think about made in China, how many of those people are, if they're getting paid fair wages and if they have good working conditions. I could go into detail on some of that if you look at Google, the Bangladesh, where the laborers were forced to work in a building that was said to have been unsafe to work in, and the building collapsed and killed many, many people. So those are some problems, and fair trade is in existence to combat those problems and to make sure that there's transparency between the people who buy fair trade and the fair trade artisans, producers, vendors, whatever you want to call them. I often get asked if how much, when somebody buys something, how much of this goes back to them? How much do they get paid? We don't do a give back model. There's a lot of problems with a give back excuse me, give back model, and I'll explain one of them. So for instance, here's a purse that we provide. It's a mini clutch, really cute. I use it in my bigger bag when I go to events to hold this cell phone and my credit cards and driver's license, so those things don't get lost in the big bag. So I have several of these, and these are actually made by the person who does our Street Kids ministry. She went to design school and she's a very good seamstress. And this is one of the products that we get from her. And say I have a lot of these that I got in February 2020 when I was visiting Kenya. And I came back the end of February 2020, and what happened? COVID. COVID happened and everything shut down. All sales stopped pretty much. Sales stopped for quite a long time. Now, what if I was holding these products? Now, this is one that I'm using personally, but what if I was holding these products to get and the artisan didn't get paid until I sold it? What would have happened during COVID? Obviously, I wasn't able to order things, but what would have happened? I would have held on to this until such time as I was able to get to an event or sell it online, and then I'm going to send some money back to the artisan. That concept doesn't work. I don't know of anybody who's done that. I guess maybe that was a strategy in the past. I'm going to take these products from you. I'm not going to buy them from you now. I'm going to go sell them and then send you money back. That to me doesn't even make any sense. So everything that I have, I've purchased, and obviously you have to mark things up to cover the cost of shipping, to cover the cost of things like rental space in a shop. So if I sell a product for $22 and maybe I purchased it for 10, I can't give them $22 or I'll go out of business. As it is, I'm putting in a lot of business expenses still. We're starting to level off, but because of COVID, I had to take a corporate job and use my salary to cover the business expenses for the business. So at some point, you need to be able to cover your business expenses. And if you send the whole amount to the artisan or pay the artisan the whole amount, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I got a little crazy paws here. Who's coming to sit down? She's tired from yesterday, having been at doggy daycare all day. And this is a miracle right here. I have a cat in my lap and a dog right here, and the dog's not going after the cat. Look at that. That's a miracle. And well, she won't go after her while she's sitting on me, but she's not even wanting to, which is good. But anyway, you have to understand business. So sometimes I get into conversations with people that think that I should be paying them the whole amount that I'm charging for the item. They don't understand how business works. You have to cover the business expenses, and you have to be able to cover costs like shipping and other things, advertising and whatever, and salaries for the people that work for me. I don't take a salary from this. I'd sure like to one day. I mean, I had said in the beginning that I didn't think I'd take a salary from it. That's because I had a nice speaking career, and speaking was doing very well. And COVID, for me, unfortunately, I mean, I know I had one person that put me down by saying, "Oh, well, I had more speaking than ever because I got all these online speaking engagements. What's the matter with you?" Okay, I do experiential training, so it's even though I adapted it for online, it doesn't work as well. So to that person, that's probably why, I don't know, but I ended up having to take a corporate job. I don't want to work a corporate job in a business and a nonprofit for the rest of my life. I'm tired from doing all of that. So you have to be able to make a profit in the business right now to put back into the business. It doesn't make logical sense. And some people that don't understand business don't understand that concept. So when people ask me, I got asked yesterday, well, how much of this are you sending back to them? And then I just explained, we don't do a give back model because a give back model does not work. And I just explained why, because I have a lot of product that's been sitting for 2 years since COVID that I'm now starting to move. And what, the artisan's going to wait 2 years to get paid? That's not that's not fair trade. That's not fair and reasonable, and that's not fair trade. So uh, that's just, so World Fair Trade Day celebrates fair trade, and I think if we become more aware of who makes our clothes, who makes our products, where do they come from, is somebody at the other end, is there transparency? Now, I don't always buy fair trade, something that's fair trade certified or verified. For instance, oftentimes I use Bella Canvas t-shirts. I've mentioned this before. I've been to the Bella factory in downtown Los Angeles because I live not too far from downtown. I was just there on Friday purchasing, I'll probably fill up a bag full of socks and underwear for women and kids to take to Kenya, for the ladies and their children. And I've been to the Bella Canvas warehouse and factory in downtown Los Angeles. And even though they're not a fair trade certified company, they have a social responsibility page on their website. And I've seen the working conditions there are that it's a clean factory. The people look like they're working in safe conditions. They they looked happy to be there. The products are uh, very well made. So sometimes I do use products that are not, and of course you buy clothes and I look at the labels and you see things made in China and you wonder, okay, well, or made wherever, you wonder what the supply chain is in all of those. You can't possibly look at every single thing you buy, but as I've said and before, you can start with something. You can start with a product. Like I won't buy the chocolate from the big three, Hershey's, Nestle's, or Mars, because they're still saying after 20, 30 years that they're going to stop using forced child labor. And what they do is they take children that are of school age, kidnap them, force them into labor to pick the cocoa, uh, and they don't get to go to school. They don't get to see they don't make any money. Their family doesn't realize any benefit, and that's just wrong. So I buy fair trade chocolate. When I do buy chocolate, I've had to really watch every gram of sugar that goes into my body because I have been in a lot of pain with my back. I will say that pain is the great equalizer because it can stop you solid, and pain is something that you can't see. You can see it have an effect on people when they're maybe, like if I'm attempting to walk and I'm walking with a strange gait. Right now, I've got a lidocaine patch on my back because it hurts. Because I did an event yesterday, it was too hot, which I learned something. I did an after action review, what worked, what didn't, what could be improved for next time. Definitely not going to do any outdoor events in 90-degree plus heat anymore. That I I luckily I had a lot of water, I had food, and I almost passed out. Basically, I didn't do well with that at all. So I'm just saying, pain is a great equalizer. When you have pain, it stops you in your tracks. And it, like I wasn't going to do this event today that I'd signed up for, but people have agreed to unload my car and set up my stuff. I can sit there and make sales. I just can't pick anything up. I can't lift anything. I'm not going to injure my back any further, especially since I'm on my way to Kenya in less than 10 days. So I'm going to take the little girl. This is little Indigo, if you haven't met Indigo. And then here's Meow Mix. And I'm going to take her for a walk and I'm going to head up there and do the event for a few hours. And let me tell you, for me, standing there and letting people set everything up for me is going to be very challenging, but I have to do it because I can't injure my back any further. So prayers would be appreciated. And also, if you have not donated to the Give Send Go, it's on every page here. You can find it. It's givesendgo.com/golf2 Juliet Echo Echo G2JEE. And I'd appreciate your donation. I think I still have it here. I can put a banner if I can find it. There it is right there. I'd appreciate your donation. I'm short. I really don't want to come out of pocket for this, but I'm going to have to cut back on a couple things that I was planning on doing. but I'm praying for a few thousand more dollars to be able to cover the costs for that. So if you haven't donated, if you have an organization that might donate, I would appreciate any help that you might be able to give me as I'm going to work with and support women in Kenya in poverty. And one of the things we're doing is we're taking our group of ladies and we're going up to a place where there's another group of ladies. And here I thought it was going to be a small group. I'm thinking in my head, oh, why don't I bring some underwear for them? How many are there going to be? And Layla, my director, tells me, oh, we're capping it at 100. I thought, 100? What? We're going to have 100 women? Are you kidding me? So what we're going to do there is we're going to take, it's cold, it's the rainy season, so it's cold. So we're going to get blankets, and the good blankets are like $8 a piece. So 8 times 100 is $800. And then we're going to take food and lasos, which are the things that they wrap and carry things or carry their kids. So a good $1,000, $1,200 is needed just for that. And I've done a couple of things, like I bought the underwear from my own account because I didn't want to take it from the funds that we're going to use. We're also going to do a mobile medical clinic. That's $1,000 plus. And then the transportation to get around, and then some of the other things that we're going to do there. And wanted to go visit the 2 street kids that uh, we're working with and give them a little something, and then do some other things in the area. So any help that you could give to support would be great. All right, that's about it for today. I'm going to take the little girl here for a walk, and I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you are able to have it. I'm living in a nice condo in Orange County, California. And yes, I'm in pain, and yes, it hurts, but I think about the hurt that these women are going through on a daily basis and the struggles that they have in their life. And I won't let them down. And I'm hoping that you'll help me in that circumstance. Again, the place to donate is givesendgo.com, Golf to Juliet Echo Echo, G2JEE, and you can see everything that we're going to do there and what your money will go for. All right, I hope you all have a great day. Make it a great one. Nakupenda.